I'm the Book Baron. Hi. Welcome in, everybody. I'm so excited. We are doing my October TBR today. I know I'm not alone in this, but I love October so much. My husband gets into it, my neighbors, my friends, everybody in my life just has so much fun with this holiday. So I had to have a TBR that absolutely, we need to get rid of the fidget ring. I have a TBR that has the energy to match. I have literally, this is not a joke, had a list going for an October TBR all year. Oh, it's popping. It's got demons, monsters, vampires, witches, and then just some like regular run-of-the-mill dark stuff because why not? I do probably have too much on my TBR, especially just given what's going on, but I do not care because I take my TBRs as a mild suggestion at best. If I'm not finishing it, I'm not panicking. However, these books, yeah, they're good. I'm also hoping I can dye my hair purple again this year. I didn't get to do that last year because I had so many different work trips and things where I had to have like my normal hair photographed. But after the weddings are done, purple hair, baby. So be on the lookout for that. I do not have her yet though. I was sad that I wasn't able to film my TBR with purple hair, but alas, I don't think my sister wants my purple hair in her wedding photos. So, you know, there's that. I'm so excited for this TBR. Let's just jump into things. Okay, so first up is one, guys, I'm not joking. I think I have put this on maybe 3 different October TBRs. I'm determined to make it happen this year.
Oh boy, the fact that I have to do a voiceover this early in the video does not bode well. I'm just gonna preemptively say, buckle up, there's probably gonna be a lot of voiceovers in this, and I'm sorry, but I forgot to tell you the name and the author of this book. It's Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. I don't even understand how I missed that. Like, that's just the most fundamental part of putting together a TBR. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna go. I don't know why I'm heated about this.
It is a standalone. It's a dark, gothic, kind of dark academia. It's got all the atmosphere. And it is, I believe, student professor. So the premise for this is that Lila lost her mom to this mystery illness, and that made her dedicate her life and her studies to finding a cure for this. So she's gonna go to Dracadia University because that seems like a good option. It's pretty prestigious. She gets in by some miracle, and this university is spooky, scary, creepy because it is on a haunted island off of Mayne. So already you know it's gonna have the most incredible atmosphere. This is where she meets a professor that goes by the name of Dr. Death. So he seems really chipper. He's this enigmatic pathology professor. So obviously she's gonna be studying under him. Let's just say I've heard they're quite toxic together. So I was like, sign me up. This one is a little bit of a chunker. And like I said, I have promised that I was gonna read it multiple Octobers in a row. And I'm gonna do it this time because I feel like I've heard nothing but good things. I know that I like a lot of Carrie Lake's writing. Not all of her books have worked for me, but she does do an incredible atmosphere. Oh, side note, that has nothing to do with anything. Oh, you can't really see it. My friend got me this cutest little black cat mug and it said it was dishwasher safe. It is not. That little kitty cat came right off. I got off track with that one. Sorry, guys. I think the gothic and dark academia nature are just gonna make for really good atmosphere for this time of year, and that's what I'm really looking forward to the most. I am really curious too with the illness, like what all of that's about. So I'm like, is that gonna have kind of like a horror element? Like, will there be some body horror? Because that would be kind of fun too, although this isn't labeled that, so who knows. But anyways, that's the first one on my TBR. The next one is Her Soul to Keep by Opal, Reyne. So this is more demons, monsters, paranormal. This is the first, I believe, in an interconnected series because I think they all follow different people. And this one is about Rhea, and she has always been a little bit of a village outcast. She was considered cursed after demons devoured her family, which sounds very tragic and horrible for her. So when a Duskwalker comes around and is like, hey, looking for that human offering, their village is like, we've got one for you. We don't want her. But this monster, it turns out, is not what she's expecting. He goes by the name Orpheus, and he's got these like glowing eyes in a skull face, and he's dangerous. But he isn't cruel like she was expecting. In fact, he might be the first creature that ever truly wanted her. And he ends up taking her into the Vale, which seems to be a realm of shadows, like where the demons live and hang out. And it's meant to be temporary, except Rhea isn't afraid, and Orpheus just isn't quite ready to let her go. But now he has the added struggle of having to convince her to stay before she ends up slipping away like all the souls before her. So Lynn and I have talked about doing a buddy read for this book. I'm gonna try and make that happen this time around this year because like I just don't feel like there's any other time of year that I'm really gonna want to consume this book. It's demons, it's paranormal. I think it's gonna be a smutty good time. I know the books were pretty popular a couple years ago, if memory serves. Hoping to knock this one off my TBR, and I probably should consult with Lynn about whether or not we're doing this as a buddy read. But I'm manifesting, baby. I'm putting that out into the universe. Next up is a book from a series that I have owned the physical copies for multiple years. I read the first book and I was like, that was fun, and then just promptly forgot about the other two books. It's the Souls trilogy by Harley. Am I having an aneurysm? What is happening to me right now? Here's the book. Her Soul for Revenge by Harley Laroux. It's the second book in the Souls trilogy. I got there. I'm okay. So this is technically interconnected, but I have heard that it's better read in order. So the first book is Her Soul to Take. And this is more of a demon romance, kind of not urban fantasy, paranormal fantasy that kind of verges on a little bit of horror spooky. But anyway, what is this book about? So Juniper barely escapes a cult that tried to sacrifice her, and she has been on the run ever since. When a demon shows up with an offer, her soul in exchange for his help unleashing bloody vengeance on everyone who has wronged her. But signing over her soul turns out to just be the beginning, because Zane, the demon in question, doesn't want blood. He actually wants her. So Zane has hunted souls for centuries, but none have intrigued him quite like Juniper. She's powerful and just as broken as he is. He expected it to be kind of a simple deal, pretty straightforward, but that's when good sir got obsessed. And as they are tearing through her enemies, an ancient god begins to stir, and the line between predator and prey starts to blur a whole bunch. And in the end, it just might be their blood that's spilled next. So, as I mentioned, I read the first book a while back. Maybe it was last October or the October before. Enjoyed it. It was a fun time. Didn't love the heroine, but I liked the setting. I thought it was a good, spicy time, as Harley Laroux is very adept at delivering that. I'm ready to jump back in because, again, I own all of these physically, so I want to get them read. And it feels weird that there's Harley Laroux books out there that exist that I have not read. Also, these are set in Washington. It's got spooky, eerie, out in the forest, small mountain town vibes. I'm also, side note, hoping to get to her new book that's releasing at the end of September here, House of Reyne. I don't know when I'm going to get to that. I feel like September is going to be too ambitious. I imagine it'll be in October or November. Regardless, that is a book that I want to read, and now you know. Next up, I have Soul Eater, and this is by Mayne. So this is an romance that's got monsters, it's post-apocalyptic, enemies to lovers, and looking for proximity. All of my buzzwords. About 20 years ago, Ronsters? It's just a bunch of monsters named Ron. Monsters rose and claimed most of the US. They forced humans into these cramped, military-controlled coastal cities. This is kind of reminding me of, what was that movie? District 9? Oh wait, that was with aliens. Never mind. I'm way off base. But anyway, the rest of the US is now kind of just called like the wastes, is nothing's really there. It is brutal, it's lawless, and it's full of creatures that just don't play by humanity's rules and social norms. The worst of all goes by the name of Wynn, the Soul Eater. Every 3 years, he sweeps across the country, leaving nothing behind but husks. He ends up, this time around, sparing one single soldier, and that soldier's name is Danny. Now, Danny is a 23-year-old. He's got no family, no future, and has no idea why the most terrifying monster out there seems to be so interested in him. And now he finds himself at the center of something that's kind of strange. Initially, he was assigned to this military unit that was supposed to go after him and stop Wynn, and now it's kind of this like violent, steamy mess. This one I wanted to read for a couple reasons. One, Shelby from Spicy Book Nook Nook said that this is her favorite author of all time. And I didn't realize how popular this author was. She's really who I've heard about Lily Mayne through. Was that a coherent sentence? We'll roll with it. But I wanted something that was like a little bit demon, but post-apocalyptic. You know that's my bag. So immediately I was more drawn in by that. And honestly, I just haven't read an MM romance in a hot minute. This kind of just feels like a good reason to be grabbing this bad boy, especially around this time of year. And plus, I've never read anything from Lily Mayne, so I'm hoping that this can be my introduction to her and I can have another backlist that I can dive into. So next up is The Land of the Beautiful Dead by Arlie Smith. This is a standalone. This is a thick bitch. This is also post-apocalyptic. It's more like vampire monsters kind of a thing. So we have Azrael, the eternal and undying harbinger of death. He basically like rose up and just destroyed the world as everybody knew it. The rain is black. There's fire. There's monstrous eaters wiping out most of humanity, and now he rules from the walled city of Haven, surrounded by his undead court. So Lan has grown up during his rule, and she's never known anything except for survival. She, though, has held onto this little glimmer of hope that the world can still change, but it involves convincing Azrael to end the eaters once and for all. So she does the unthinkable and she confronts him directly in his own home, in the castle. But instead of unaliving her, he offers her a deal. She can try and convince him, but only if she agrees to submit to his cold and terrifying embrace. And now she's living under the same roof. Why did that word sound so weird? Not the point. But she's living in the same house as a god who is destroying, or destroyed, depending on how you look at it, the world at large. And Lan has to now navigate the power dynamics, the temptation, the fear, and hopefully win this deal. Once again, apocalyptic. I'm in an apocalyptic mood. I love a post-apocalyptic romance. This also has the added element of also being vampires.
So I said vampires, but now I'm gonna be 100% for real with you. I actually don't know if this is vampires or just some sort of ooky monster. I have no idea. I'm gonna find out.
I have read some of this and it is very gritty. The atmosphere in this book is very intense, very dark and heavy. So I knew that this would be a perfect read for this time of year. And I wanted something because I feel like there's a lot of books that I have on here that I think are gonna lean, oh, I fell in love. I'm so horny for this very dark demon. I can just tell that this already has a lot more grittiness to the world. Also, Arlie Smith has really developed a cult following. I know that there are a couple of people that I follow that I follow on Instagram that are die-hard fans. And I've also heard that her covers are getting redone. I know these things are absolutely an abomination, but they are getting redone. I haven't heard or seen anything other than that little tidbit. So I now impart it on to you. And I'm just realizing I promised someone that I would buddy read this with them, and I need to go back through my Instagram DMs. I cannot believe I forgot that. So, all right, next up is a book from one of my favorite authors, and it's These Monstrous Ties by KV Rose. I don't know why I just like brought my hand up so abruptly. That was very strange. Anyways, oh, I forgot how much I love these covers. I don't know what it is about this cover. The rest of the series is okay. This cover, yummy. So this is the first in the Unsainted series. To my knowledge, these books are interconnected. These are more dark romance, deal with the devil, we've got revenge, second chances, that sort of a vibe. So this is set on Halloween night. Our heroine has nothing. She sold her soul to the devil to hopefully get everything she wanted, but he ended up breaking her heart and then just vanished. So now she's got nothing but a thirst for revenge. So this Halloween, Lilith isn't just hunting him, she has come to collect what's hers. So that synopsis I know is super, super vague, but I love KV Rose, so I don't really care. I know that this is a very popular series of hers, and I've just never delved into it, but she does some dark stuff. She loves a toxic relationship. She loves a truly morally bankrupt hero. And I think because this one is specifically set in Halloween time, there's no other time to read this series except for in October, right? Like, I'm legally and morally obligated obligated to read this book. And depending on my mood, maybe I'll binge the rest of this series. I don't know. I'm assuming they all have ties to Halloween, but I actually am just realizing I don't know that for certain. But anyways, that's the next one on my TBR. So next up I have I Will Break You by Gigi Styx, and this is the first book in the Pen Pals duet. So this is another one where I am giving myself a little bit of room, depending on how invested I am, to read the entire duet. My understanding is that this is a dark romance, leans towards psychological thriller. It may involve ghosts, question mark, may involve serial unalivers, question mark, but definitely has some unreliable narrators, which I think is gonna give that psychological thriller feel. So the synopsis on this sounds bonkers. I'm assuming that Prey is our heroine and Predator is our hero, but it's not super clear because they're only labeled by that. But he was, past tense, her pen pal that got the electric chair. So how is it that he is now sexting her from beyond the grave? And I did say sexting, and I did mean that.
All right, so Girly Pop got it so wrong after this point, so we're just gonna do a cute little voiceover and correct this. So, Prey can't see dead people, that is true. It also says that it's not just of the men that she has unalived, so I do believe that our lady friend is a serial unaliver here. So she's a little bit concerned that she's gonna get committed to the loony bin at this point, because she can't really tell what's real and what's not, and what's hallucinations. And everyone thinks that she's just having a little break from reality when she's like, hey, so the serial unaliver that I jilted at the altar, I think he's haunting my house, and I think he's unaliving any man that shows interest in me and leaving their body parts under my pillow, like the world's worst tooth fairy. Oh, that got dark. I don't know why my brain went there. We move on. Predator then is like, she ghosted me at the altar, woe is me. And his goal is basically to terrorize her and also maybe do some horny things to her as well. Okay, so those are all the parts that I messed up. And now we're going to catch up to, I guess, past me. And she's going to say something correct. So we're going to tune back into her. Okay, bye.
But someone else wants her dead, and he is the only one standing in their way. I'm going to be honest, that synopsis made no sense to me.
It's almost like you got all the details wrong, and that's why. Shocking.
No sense to me whatsoever. I have no idea what to expect from this. I've seen a couple reviews from people that I know that are like, what is even going on? The confusion is so real because, again, we have that unreliable narrator, and it sounds like there's a lot of blending of what's reality and what's not. I think this one could really mess with my head. I'm really curious to see if I can put things together. Most of the time that ruins a book for me, but I have a feeling in this case, it could make it even more fun. But one of y'all recommended this series to me a couple months ago, saying that you just binge the duet. And so I did end up picking up the audiobooks because they were only like $3 the other day. And I've been meaning to read this author anyway. She caught my eye with Taming Serafina. I think Cynthia recommended that to me I think a couple years ago. But I think that this one's just gonna offer, again, something different. We're not just like demon fucking for the funsies of it and having a horny good time. So hopefully have a little bit of variety in here so I don't burn myself out on any specific type of like spooky October type book. Plus, I do need a redemption for the prison pen pal trope because JT Geisinger did not deliver on that trope. Although I did somewhat enjoy that book. Controversial opinion. Anyways, I'm hoping for a wild ride. Last one. So the last one that I have for you is Shadowface by Rhea Ryan. So this is one that I mentioned in my mid-year book freakout tag that I was like, I need to read this before the end of the year. And I've decided that October is the month. So this is a dark romance. It has a serial unaliver. It might have a paranormal element. Question mark, question mark, question mark. So this synopsis is another goofy one. So hopefully what I'm about to say makes any amount of sense, but basically he haunts her dreams. Who's her? Don't know. He's faceless, nameless, but dangerously seductive. She thought she only lived in her fantasies, not in real life. Then on her first day at Kinsman University, everything changes. There's a leaked photo. There's an unalived body and a man who shouldn't exist, Shadowface. So Shadowface should be a myth. He is a 300-year-old legend known for blood and the trail of bodies that he leaves behind. Now she knows the truth. The monster from her dreams is real and he is not done with her. She is drawn to him with this desire that she just doesn't quite understand, but she is desperate to uncover who he really is. So this one I think is interesting because we're not going in necessarily assuming that demons are real and there's a demon lair or that monsters are real. This one sounds like it can kind of toe the line with reality where it's like, is it paranormal? Is there like a practical reason? Like Scooby-Doo, I would like to unmask this ghost. Am I more of a Daphne or am I Velma? I don't feel like I'm really either of them. Maybe I'm Scrappy-Doo. No, Scrappy-Doo's diabolical. No, not that one. I'll be Scooby-Doo. Maybe I'm Shaggy. I'll leave that up for your interpretation. Comment below. Anyway, I've mentioned that I wanted to read this book. I've wanted to try this author. There's multiple books of hers on my TBR. Again, this one I think is just going to offer a little bit of variety, so it's not just monster fucking the whole time. I mean, we might be monster fucking. I just don't know if we are actually monster fucking, or I am going to have to bleep this whole thing. Again, I just think this one's going to offer some variety. It's a little bit more grounded in new adult, so it's going to have kind of like an academic setting, which I think is going to be good. I think this sounds like it maybe will be somewhere between gothic or paranormal. It's hard to say whether or not the paranormal elements are even real based on this description, but I am ready to find out. All right, so those are all the books that I am desperately hoping to read in October. I know I have overstuffed this TBR. I know I have a lot of loose ends where I'm like, maybe I'll binge that series and maybe I'll read that whole duet. I don't know, and I will not be held responsible for any of it. Because I even have like an unofficial list of other books that I'm like, maybe I could read these as well. Because I have like Skeleton King by Charity B, which is a Nightmare Before Christmas retelling, where I'm like, October would be a good time, but like if it has to wait till November, that's also okay too, but I would like to read it in October, because, you know, kind of bridges Halloween and Christmas. Anyways, I'm absolutely prepared to be humbled by this TBR. I've been reading slow recently, so this isn't going to destroy my ego if I don't get to everything. But with all of that, let me know what you're planning to read in October. I'm curious if a lot of people are doing paranormal and spooky stuff, or if you guys just kind of stick to your normal reading, or especially if you're more of a light and fluffy reader typically. Do you go for like the spicy holiday novellas? Like, are you guys into those? Just let me know what you're planning to read for October, because I would love to hear all about it. I don't know why I did this. I'm just really excited for Halloween. This is like the one holiday I don't phone it in for. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like this video if you did in fact like it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, but no pressure. I get that I'm not everyone's cup of tea. And I really, really hope that I see you on my next video. Bye-bye.